Good evening and welcome. For those who may need Spanish language interpretation, we do have interpretation devices on site. Headsets are available at the back.
Buenas tardes. Para aquellas personas que necesiten interpretación al español, tenemos auriculares ahí por donde están entrando y vamos a tener interpretación simultánea al español. Gracias.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Joshua Padron, and I am one of the public information officers assigned to the Mountain Fire. This evening's meeting will include presentations from designated agency representatives who will provide information on the Mountain Fire and its recovery process, followed by questions and answers at the end of the session. We encourage our online viewers to submit your questions. This will ensure that we can thoroughly address any comments and concerns you may have. Your input is valuable. But first, I would like to acknowledge some attendance of dignitaries tonight. California Senator Monique Limon, Ventura County Board of Supervisors, District 2, Jeff Corral. Ventura County Board of Supervisors, District 3, and Board Chair, Kelly Long. Ventura County Fire Chief, Dustin Gardner. Ventura County Sheriff, Jim Freihoff. Ventura County CEO, Dr. Savette Johnson. City of Camarillo Mayor Tony Tremblay. City of Camarillo City Manager Greg Ramirez. And City of Camarillo Assistant City Manager Carmen Nichols. And to start it off, opening comments from Supervisor Jeff Corral.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome. My name's Jeff Gorell. I serve as County Supervisor representing the 2nd District. The 2nd District is where the majority of the loss and devastation took place from the mountain fire. It includes our communities of Somis. It includes the residential neighborhoods north of Las Posas up along Camarillo Heights and Las Posas Estates. It's been an emotional 7 days, and those emotions included grieving and loss. And I want to start by saying, on behalf of the County of Ventura family, each and every one of us, we extend our heartfelt condolences to those families that lost so much in such a personal nature. But the emotions also swung to inspiration because I witnessed so many of our first responders performing nothing less than heroic feats, jumping in to save lives and evacuate more than 10,000 people at a time where gusts of winds were blowing fire 80 miles per hour. Not just our first responders, but neighbors helping neighbors. I've heard so many stories of neighbors helping other neighbors get out just in the nick of time. And I'm inspired and I'm honored to be associated with a community that comes together like this. As we pivot from response to recovery, it's now about healing and rebuilding. Frankly, we've been through this before. The Thomas fires, the Woolsey fire. We've had lessons learned. We've got so many great leaders that are bringing those lessons learned to the table so that we can do better and do better for you. I can tell you right now that the Board of Supervisors for Ventura County is absolutely committed to doing better, to streamlining, to focusing on recovery, to never relenting. Simply put, the Thomas Fire timeline for rebuilding was unacceptable. We're going to do better. We can do better. We recognize that there's a time for government to help, and then there's another time for government to get out of the way. Tonight's town hall is just the beginning. As you're probably now, everyone's aware, tomorrow we stand up our LAC, our Local Assistance Center. That's going to be at the Ventura County Office of Education here in Camarillo. And we're going to have all of the resources that you could imagine there. Everything from behavioral health and mental health to the insurance commissioner, to our public works, our public health department. Tonight we're gonna help you focus on what you need to rebuild, and then we are prepared, shoulder to shoulder, to stand there to help you. It's gonna be at the Ventura County Office of Education here in Camarillo, and the address will get you here in just a quick minute. Somebody else is going to speak specifically to the resources that are going to be available there. You're going to hear a full presentation. Another amazing thing that we've done is we very quickly stood up a relief fund so we could raise money to help those who have lost everything. That relief fund is being handled by our great partners at the Ventura County Community Foundation. And I want to tell you that I'm here tonight to announce and make some news, and that is that Wallace Annenberg of the Annenberg Foundation called earlier tonight and has donated $100,000 to our victims for relief. If you have the means, if you have the ability, we ask you to support that relief fund as well. Again, that's through the Ventura County Community Foundation, and you'll hear some more about that. But tonight, our goal is to update you on the important things, the big issues. Where are we with debris removal, and how is that going to work, and where can you find out more information tomorrow and the next day? What is being done to prepare for the winter rains, and that might bring mudslides or flooding? For those of you here who have lost everything, for those of you who here have lost your homes, for those of you here that have lost your ag land, I want you to know I would like you to contact me personally. Please email me at jeff.gorell@ventura.org, or please call me directly on my personal cell phone at 805-217-7679. I want to hear from you. 805-217-7679. 805-217-7679. And I'll be here afterwards for you to get that from later. I met with somebody just earlier, Gabe, sitting in the second row, who lost everything, his home in Somas along the Barranca. I believe that we have the people, the leaders, they're right here in the front and next to me, in place to do the job that you deserve. And I believe that we have the plans that are coming together to do the right work to get this community back to healing and rebuilding. I am confident that we will get through this, Ventura County strong. God bless. Thank you. I'd now like to invite up to the microphone my friend and somebody who's been on the front lines of this since day one, the Mayor of Camarillo, Tony Tremblay.
Good evening, everyone. It is a privilege to be here on behalf of the City of Camarillo and on behalf of our city and our City Council. I first want to say how tremendously grateful that we all are for the immediate and extraordinary response by our first responders to the mountain fire. The Ventura County Fire Department, the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, and the Office of Emergency Services, CAL FIRE, all of the mutual aid, all of the fire departments offering mutual aid, our civilian volunteers, our Red Cross volunteers, our nonprofits, Padre Sarah Parish, who hosted an evacuation center, everyone combined together to help at our time of need. Our first responders are heroes. They are heroes. And their efforts, without a doubt, saved lives, saved property, and prevented these terrible circumstances from becoming even worse. It is a miracle that we had no fatalities in this incident. A miracle. And that is a direct testament to our first responders. So when you see first responders tonight and members of our community, when you see first responders, thank them for all that they do, day in, not just in the mountain fire, but day in and day out. The second thing is we are heartbroken. We are heartbroken for our residents and our neighbors whose homes and properties were damaged or destroyed by this fire, or who otherwise were adversely affected. And you are here tonight to hear more granular details, after we do some initial comments, hear more granular details of how we move forward in terms of recovery. Yesterday afternoon, Councilmember Dave Tennyson and I went out to the Las Posas Estates area within the city boundaries. And we personally visited several city residents whose homes were destroyed or properties were damaged. And I see some of you out here tonight. It's just devastating. And we know that you must be exhausted. It's been a long, long 7 days. We also know that recovery and rebuilding is going to be a marathon and not a sprint. A marathon and not a sprint. What I ask of everyone in our Camarillo community, those here tonight, those who are watching on live stream, and those who hear about what is being said tonight, what I ask them is to keep those of you who are hurting in our thoughts and in our prayers, and to help support them in whatever way you can, either by way of what Supervisor Gorell has said or in any other manner in which you choose. But show the folks who are here your support. I want you to know two things, and you can count on them. Number one, Camarillo, our community, is defined by people. It's not defined by jurisdictional boundaries. Even though someone may live outside the city boundaries, the incorporated limits, we, all of us here, are members of our Camarillo community. We all call Camarillo home. We support one another, We're resilient, and we will get through this together. Secondly, and you can count on this, because I've already seen it in action, from the inception of this fire last Wednesday morning, our city staff, the county staff, our first responders have been working very long hours, nonstop, and in close coordination, and I have seen firsthand their dedication and what they have brought to this incident and their level of coordination, and it is exemplary what our city and county staffs and our nonprofit partners are doing. So I want to thank them publicly. So, whether you live in the incorporated area or the unincorporated area of wider Camarillo or Somas, please note that our staff are dedicated, jointly together with the county staff, to helping you recover. Our city is here for you, and we are working hand in hand with the county staff, with our nonprofit partners, our community, all of our community partners, to ensure that every single one of you that are impacted adversely by this fire receives the information, the resources, and the support that you need and that you deserve. In closing, please continue to look at the websites that are up, vcemergency.com. The City of Camarillo has its own dedicated webpage for this incident, cityofcamarillo.org/mountainfire, where you can also go to for resources. For the latest updates, the city is also putting all of that messaging out on social media. We have a table inside the lobby, but we have a very large presence outside in the courtyard, just outside the doors this evening, with a lot of our staff who are there. And we want you to come visit them. And of course, we have the local assistance center that is going to be opening up as of tomorrow morning. And I believe the initial hours are going to be between 9 a.m. I'm looking at Chair Long and Supervisor Gorell, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday. So, with all of that, thank you for being here. My hearts go out to those of you who have been adversely affected. And like Supervisor Gorell said, we are here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tremblay. I would like to bring up California Senator Monique Limon.
Good evening, everyone. I also want to acknowledge that we have Assemblymember Bennett, who is my partner in the California State Legislature here as well. And on behalf of Assemblymember Bennett and myself, we want to extend our support for our community, but also our commitment. Our commitment to this community that the state is a partner in the healing and the recovering. Regrettably, we have both represented the areas and the community during the Thomas fire. And what I can tell you is that one of the best things that we can do as your state representatives is work collaboratively with the city, with the county, and with every single agency. We know that the first responders are the individuals who keep our community safe, and I want to thank all of the first responders that are here. I want to thank also CAL FIRE. The state has been here. We've participated and will continue to participate in what we call mutual aid and assistance. We have different county first responders here as well that together with Ventura County have worked to ensure that we keep first and foremost lives out of harm's ways. The recovery process is a difficult one, but we want to ensure you that as we go through this together with you, with the county, with the city, with all of our partners that we are committed to ensure that we have and that we fight for the resources that are needed. And certainly I can tell you and guarantee you that those conversations have already begun. You know that our governor was here to learn to make sure that we have and are prepared to deliver as a state in our community. I want you to know that on behalf of Assemblymember Bennett and I, this is a devastation to all of us. We are all part of this community and represent this area, and know that we will work together with all of our partners to be able to help you through the next stages of what comes, whether it be with the Department of Insurance, with the DMV, with our Franchise Tax Board. There are many state agencies that will have a role in the next steps. You will find many of them at the local assistance, but please know that we are here to ensure that the state is part of a solution and to assist. The fear, the feelings, the pain, and the loss is real. And we can't stop that from happening, but we can ensure that we help in this recovery, and that as we move forward in the next steps, our community builds stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Limon. On behalf of your Ventura County Fire Department, I'd like to introduce you to your incident commanders, unified incident commanders. First to speak, Chief Barry Parker.
Very humbled to see all of you here and to be able to speak with you on behalf of the Ventura County Fire Department, and just truly express from our hearts that we grieve with you. But having said that, the fire department is with you every step of the way. We will walk with you every step of the way. We're looking at the positive side of this, and that is to support the community of Camarillo. I'm a resident of Camarillo. You are our family. So at Station 55 in the Estates, we will have public information officers set up there for you. We welcome you to come to the fire station. We welcome you to ask us questions, because we are your fire department. We are part of your community. We can help direct you. We can help you in any way that we can. We will bend over backwards. We are willing to do that. You've had faith in us to do our jobs, perhaps even sacrifice our lives, but we were willing to do that. Now it's our turn to keep giving. So please, reach out to us. We're there for you. We're not going anywhere. Nothing is going to change. But I will tell you this. It's Camarillo. You folks are strong. We haven't had a major fire like we've experienced. But I know that this community, supported by all the cooperators, all the partners, you're going to hear a lot more about it. You are in good hands. And I'm not talking about Allstate. I'm talking about all of the cooperators with all the support here on the stage to get us through this. Thank you.
Next to speak, Chief Todd Hopkins.
Good evening. My name is Todd Hopkins. I proudly serve as the incident commander for Cal Fire Incident Management Team 5. What an incident management team is we are one of 6 Cal Fire teams that serve throughout the state when there's any type of emergency. What we're called is an all-risk emergency management, incident management team. When a county or a fire agency has a large-scale incident, it's hard for them to manage 20,000 acres, massive flooding. So what they do is they reach out and they ask the state for help. and then that's where they deploy an incident management team. So we're made of a 67-person team. When we arrive on scene, we're giving expectations from the fire chief, from the sheriff, and then we embed their personnel into our incident management team so we can run the incident until it's a manageable incident once again for their day-to-day operations. Remember, when this fire is going on, they're still running the normal 500 to 600 calls a day for service in addition to this fire while they're stripped for resources. So that's the strength of California's fire service, is being able to call on each other and come out and assist. One of the things I take note as an incident commander is this is the 4th incident that our team has run this year, is when I come in and I get a briefing and I'm given expectations from the fire chief and from the sheriff. And what I can tell you is that this fire chief and the sheriff gave me expectations, and one of the biggest expectation is that we treat our residents as our family. They're not just civilians. This is our family, and we expect you to treat them like that. So I hope that our incident management team did that in your eyes. I hope that, I know you have a long recovery process. CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 5 wishes you the best in your recovery efforts, and we also, in your healing, as I know you have a long road ahead. But thank you for letting us come in and serve you in your county. It was my pleasure and my honor to serve with Ventura County Fire Department and the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, so thank you.
Thank you, Chief Hopkins and Chief Parker. On behalf of the Ventura County Sheriff, I'd like to introduce Sheriff Jim Freihoff.
Thank you all for coming tonight to hear the recovery efforts, because that's really what's important at this point. But my partners that just were on stage, there's one word that they talked about, and that's unified. And that is absolutely we are. Your fire department, Dustin Gardner and his team, the sheriff's office, we work together all the time. For the 34 years I've been on, we have a strong relationship. It's a culture that's expected here in Ventura County. And when the incident management team arrived, we told Todd that same thing. I said, you get to leave at the end of this. This is our community. We expect you to treat them like they're your community too. And he understood that, and I said, I want to get people back into their homes as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe to do so. People want to be able to see what the loss is, if their home is still standing, for the emotional healing to begin, and Todd got it completely. He understood exactly what our expectations were, and his team followed through with that. Along with that, we will have I believe all of our evacuation areas, the orders will be dropped by tomorrow. We were hoping to get it all done tonight by 6, but there was 2 areas that just still needed a little bit more security. Once those orders are lifted, we will continue to have a police presence in those areas that have been devastated so that we don't have any issues with looting or people that are coming in and seeking to do harm to our community members. We've all suffered enough, and we're not going to tolerate it. So just know that you have our support. I'm blessed to have a team with all the deputies I'm so proud of for the work they did during this fire and putting their lives on the line to get people out of their homes and do the evacuations, along with our search and rescue team, our volunteers, certainly our Office of Emergency Services. That team is amazing. They are the ones that are behind the scenes, making sure they're getting our evacuation orders lined up, making the notifications, getting the emergency alerts out in a timely fashion. There is a lot going on in a very small period of time to try and save lives, and Patrick Maynard and his team are just up to the task. You're all blessed here to have Eric Tennyson as your chief of police. The team he's got here is nothing short of miraculous. So I'm proud to be your sheriff. I'm proud of the work they did, and I'm looking forward to helping you all recover. Thank you.
Now we will start bringing up individuals to assist the Local Assistance Center opening and its services. And to start this off, County of Ventura Human Services Agency Director and Recovery Task Force, Melissa Livingston.
Good evening. I am pleased to share with you this evening that a local assistance center will be opening tomorrow, Thursday, November 14th, at the Ventura County Office of Education, located at 5100 Adolfo Road in Camarillo. The County of Ventura and the City of Camarillo are in partnership in supporting this assistance center to ensure that each and every individual and family impacted by this event has access to supports and assistance you need to navigate this challenging time. The Local Assistance Center will provide for a central location where residents can access information, resources, and support to meet your various needs resulting from the mountain fire event. But more importantly, local assistance centers are designed to be human-centric and family-centric, wrapping our arms around you, recognizing that the impacts of disasters are not only challenging, difficult to navigate, and traumatic to those that are impacted. Thus, each and every individual and family impacted deserves and should receive as much support as possible to open the door to hope, help, healing, and moving to resiliency. Your local assistance centers will be staffed and supported by both local government, the County of Ventura, the City of Camarillo, state government agencies, and community-based organizations and nonprofits embedded in our community. There will be a wide variety of resources available, such as insurance and rebuilding assistance, safe debris removal and cleanup, vital records replacement, tax relief assistance, housing support and assistance, unemployment, employment assistance, business assistance, health, public health and wellness assistance, food and basic need assistance, public assistance benefits, and supportive services for older adults and individuals with disabilities. We are also very fortunate to have a large number of state agencies participating in the assistance centers. That will include the California Office of Emergency Services, and we thank them for the oversight and coordination of setting up this local assistance center and bringing forward all of these state agencies to support your community. The California Department of Insurance, the California Department of Motor Vehicles, the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, the Contractor State Licensing Board, the California Employment Development Department, the California Department of Veterans Affairs, the California Franchise Tax Board, and the California Department of Public Health. We are also extremely appreciative of our state and U.S. representatives who have provided support and engagement in helping us in this assistance center, in their continued escalation and advocacy for bringing all available funds to our community to support recovery and resilience of all impacted. The assistance centers will have multilingual support resources and will be open from 9 in the morning until 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday and closed on Sundays. We project that the center will be open for 2 weeks, but if we need more time, we will extend that timeline in order to ensure that we meet each and every individual's needs. If you want to access more information about the Local Assistance Center, you can access the county website at vcrecovers.org. At the end of the presentations this evening, we will be available to answer questions regarding any of the services at the local assistance centers. And also joining us tonight are representatives from our utility companies, our water purveyors, and our State Insurance Department Insurance Commissioner's Office. We look forward to connecting with you all later this evening or at the Assistance Center in the coming days. Thank you.
Next, City of Camarillo Economic Development Manager, George Winkler.
Good evening. Let me raise this microphone. Good evening. I'm George Winkler, Economic Development Manager for the City of Camarillo. I'd like to thank, first and foremost, the County of Ventura for your leadership and coordination in supporting the Local Assistance Center. Sorry, one second. Ultimately, they're ensuring the entire Camarillo community is being supported during this challenging time. For those within city limits, the city has been in contact with affected property owners. Since the onset of the fire, we've staffed a dedicated hotline and fielded hundreds of calls to assist our residents. Moving forward, we've assembled a team to provide individual support to each affected property owner. We invite you to connect with us after this presentation, either at our table, at the local assistance center, or at City Hall to discuss how we can continue to support you in the weeks and the months ahead. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce speakers for the debris removal and rebuilding process. County Environmental Health Director Charles Ginkel.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. I am Charles Ginkel, the County Environmental Health Division's Director. I would like to thank Dr. Castell, our Public Health Officer, in helping issue our joint declaration for a public health emergency. I wanted to briefly explain what that is about. I'm sure all the residents here are very concerned about wanting to get started. Your instinct right now, I assume, is to get a shovel and start cleaning up. That would be my instinct too. I can share with you right now that I've been through a couple of these disasters already. I was witness to the Thomas Fire. I was also here during the Hill-Woolsey Fire. I have a team of staff that are ready for this mountain fire. We were ready for the citizens in Camarillo area as well as the surrounding Camarillo area. To begin with the debris removal process, it can be a challenging effort. So that's why the public health order was issued. We're asking all residents to not remove debris for the very reason is that it is toxic. It can contain various forms of hazardous waste, arsenic, heavy metals, asbestos, and we want to make sure that this material is removed methodically from removal to transportation to disposal. I'm sure this county, I know our county is committed to developing a consolidated debris removal process. I will talk a little bit about that process right now, but I in no way am gonna, there's a lot more detail to this, and so we're gonna be here today after this meeting, as well as at the LAC or the Local Assistance Center to answer any questions you may have. There are handouts in the back room that I think are new that you haven't seen before, and we'll be sharing that information as it comes in through VC or Ventura County Recover's website. The first phase of this process is there's going to be two phases to this debris removal program, and there's going to be a phase one, which is going to be we're going to address all properties that have hazardous waste on their property, specifically household hazardous waste, and that process right now, I can tell you, has already started. We've already the Department of Substances Control is mission tasked with our staff to go out and automatically start going to your properties and removing any remaining hazardous waste. This is the obvious hazardous waste that you may see, like propane tanks, oil cans, and things of that nature. The other process, which is the debris removal process, phase two, can be a little bit more challenging and it may take a little bit more time. We are committed to standing up a consolidated debris removal process through the county with hiring a contractor. That will be in place sometime in the near future. I can't give you a time frame for that right now. The other option for that debris removal process will be through private contractors, and we will stand up a local program. And I know that the City of Camarillo is also committed to standing up a local program for those of you who want to hire your own contractors to clean up the debris. The process itself, briefly, will begin with you signing up for the program, whether it's with your private contractor or with a government-funded program. There will be site assessments. You'll see crews going out to all the properties for site assessment. There will be asbestos assessment and removal programs that will be out there. Debris removal will take place, and that's a challenging process. It uses a lot of water. The key to that program is for your safety and to eliminate dust in the area. Soil testing. After all the debris is removed, there will be soil samples taken to verify that the background levels are back to background levels. Hazard tree removal. Some properties may have some hazard trees as a result of the fire, and that will also be addressed during that phase. And then eventually, the property is going to be cleaned, and there will be some erosion control that will be applied to the property so that you'll be ready. You'll be getting a report, a clean bill of health, and you'll be ready to rebuild after that. With that, I just want to thank our city partners for reaching out to me on a regular basis. They've been with us this whole time, and they're committed to work with us through this process. We will be at the local assistance center. I do want to share a phone number with you tonight, and that's our message line related to debris removal. If anybody has questions, you can leave a message there at 805-654-2432. Thank you. Sure. 805-654-2432. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite County RMA Planning Director, Dave Ward.
Good evening, everyone. Our hearts are with all of you in this time of recovery. This will be a lot of effort, but we're here to guide you along the way. What's been happening for the last less than a week, our team, county, as well as working with the city, we have so many staff members that have been through these fires before. That is a huge value to this process today. Of course, we never want to be back into this situation, but the fact that we have all that knowledge and experience dealing with multiple fires, even up in Santa Barbara County, that gives us the abilities to hone our experience, what we've learned, and how to apply those even better this time around. That's the level of activity that's been happening over the last several days. We're looking at our prior permit processes, our applications, our process steps that we used for Thomas Fire, and we're now fine-tuning those. Where was there a glitch? What item didn't work quite the way we had wanted? Those are the refinements we're looking at and doing right now. That includes with Charles, you just heard, with environmental health, with Ruben Vieira, who's the building official, and his team in building, with me in the planning division. All three of those agencies will work closely together, but it's even beyond that. We're working with Public Works, the fire department as well, all of us to figure out where can we make refinements, how can we make the process of rebuilding go quicker, and cover any glitches and what we learned along the way. That is a huge benefit to all of us, and we're sharing those details with our partners at the city as well. At the local assistance center, we'll be there to engage with you individually. We're going to be your partner. There's going to be a lot of information being provided to you. That's a lot to absorb at one time. We're going to be able to get your contact information, be able to follow up with you, and that process will go on probably for a couple months. You'll be looking at how to go back and do your rebuilding, what your design team might look like, your contractor. New questions will come up. We're building the team, primary and secondary staff resources that will be your contact to follow up with. I worked through the Thomas Fire at the City of Ventura when I was there. There were a lot of those back and forths. We expect that, we anticipate that, and we want to do that. We want to help you through this process and moving forward and rebuilding, and we will do that. The staff spends a lot of time behind the scenes, wanting to make sure that we help you. I just want to leave by sharing that at the City of Ventura, that very first plan check that we got through the process, plans held out, stamped approved, we were celebrating. The first inspections that occurred, we were tracking that, we were celebrating that. The first homeowner to get back, which was about 10 or so months into the process, we were at the site celebrating. That's what's happening behind the scenes. Every single rebuild was a success. and we tracked it, and we were there with you. So we will do that again. Thank you very much.
Next, we will have City of Camarillo Director of Administrative Services, Mitchell Cameron.
Well, good evening. As mentioned, my name is Mitchell Cameron. I'm the city's Director of Administrative Services. Just for a minute, I want to touch on the sentiment from Mr. Ward and expand upon our mayor's metaphor, if I may. Recovery really is a marathon. And this community really has the benefit of this experience, and we've been training for this marathon since the Thomas Fire. Dave Ward and I spent time at the City of Ventura supporting the recovery efforts here, and I tell you, we're going to keep getting better and better. And what I want to do is just highlight some of the actions the city is taking right now to help expedite that process in conjunction with the county. The first thing I want to talk about is exploring debris removal options. As Mr. Ward had highlighted, the county is considering a publicly funded consolidated debris removal program. We're going to continue to work along their side to explore that. The city's also aggressively looking at supporting and developing guidelines to address residents who are ready for privately funded debris removal. As mentioned before, this will take time, but we are doing everything possible to get this out to the community in the quickest way possible. One thing I'd like to highlight as well is some of the initial property assessments that have been done by the city. The city's building official has been at sites that we've identified in the city of Camarillo, and we've provided red, yellow, and green tags. And we've also invited these property owners to meet with our city recovery team. If you haven't had the opportunity to meet with the city's recovery team, we have a booth set up outside where we have a packet available to you for more information. Just one thing I want to highlight, if you didn't get the sentiment, is I know this can be a complex bureaucratic process, but I think we've heard it loud and clear from both our elected officials and city leadership that we're going to do everything possible to remove barriers and make this as streamlined. And again, I appreciate you having me here today, and we're going to do our best. Thank you.
Now I would like to bring up speakers for watershed preparedness and public infrastructure repair. First to speak, County Public Works Director Greg Strakalus.
Thank you and good evening. On behalf of the Ventura County Public Works Agency, we care very deeply about our community, and we will be working with you to rebuild and our agency partners. Tonight, I'd like to speak to you a little bit about some of the infrastructure that we're looking at in terms of rebuilding and preparing for what's yet to come, the rainfalls ahead. From water supply perspective, the County of Ventura District 19 is one water supplier of a handful of others within this affected area. During last Friday, we had to issue a water alert to 148 account customers, and out of 3,000 that we supply water to. I can say that tonight that water alert has been lifted, and all 3,000 customers do have water, safe water to drink. In terms of roads and transportation in the unincorporated area specifically, we have 3 bridges, we have 167 culvert pipes, we have hundreds of signs and miles of roadway to assess and evaluate. We have conducted preliminary assessments of our infrastructure out there, and to date we are at a total of about $300,000 worth of damage to repair in the next few weeks. From the watershed perspective, at the local assistance center that will open tomorrow, there'll be lots of detailed information for property owners to be able to receive on how they can better protect their property from erosion. We are looking at the watershed perspective in terms of stormwater management. We have several miles of red line channels to oversee and maintain. I can tell you that within the affected area, we have 5 weather monitoring stations that are tracking rainfall data. So when the rainfall comes, we will know about it. We have very sophisticated modeling that tells us when that rainfall comes, what volumes it will come down through our channels and what to expect. We will be coordinating with the Office of Emergency Services with this data and with these stormwater volume discharges through our red line channels because we do anticipate that the water flows will carry debris. Good news is that our debris basins, which are designed as sumps to collect the water and collect debris that flows with it, are empty today. So they are ready to receive. Although there is limited capacity in those debris basins, they are fully ready to receive stormwater and debris. It isn't raining yet, so we still have time to prepare for what is yet to come. And so you will hear terms like hardening our infrastructure, resiliency plans of our infrastructure, where we can install K-rail and other types of best management practices to manage that stormwater and the debris that flows with it. We are going to be doing that. We have dedicated our staff and teams to be ready to be able to go out during the rainfalls, to clear grates, to do what's necessary to keep water moving within the channels that are designed to receive it. We are coordinating very closely with our city public works partner of Camarillo. We will continue to assess the damages throughout the area and update our information at our local assistance center. Thank you.
I'd like to bring up City of Camarillo Public Works Director, Dave Klotzel.
Thank you. Good evening. As Greg just aptly covered a lot of material there, I'm here to assure you all that the City of Camarillo Public Works Department is coordinating and working very closely together with the county on everything that was just mentioned. One of the very top priorities of the city, as we were even discussing last Wednesday, our Emergency Operations Center was up and running. We were deploying barricades for street closures, coordinating with everybody involved out there. Our thoughts were already going to the coming rains. We know that's coming, and so a very top priority of the city is to prepare for that through a full assessment of the hillsides and drainage areas that have been affected by the fire to determine what protective measures are needed where to safely defend against mud and debris flow. The majority of the burn area and drainage areas are in the unincorporated county area that drains south into the city of Camarillo. So this joint effort is extremely important to prepare as best as we can. And public works departments are here to assure you that we are already working on that and putting plans in place. The city of Camarillo will continue to do everything possible to prepare for coming rains and respond immediately when needed, for the purpose of minimizing any impact to our community. I'm going to keep this short and brief tonight, so thank you very much for being here, and we are here to support and help the entire Camarillo community. Thank you.
I would like to invite County of Ventura Assessors Keith Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Taylor, County Assessor. Also a member of this community that was devastated by this horrible wind-driven fire. My heart goes out to everyone that's been impacted by this event, especially my friends that lost their homes. I want to thank the first responders again that did an incredible job saving lives and homes and property in this area. Really appreciated their effort. I want to talk to you tonight about three things that have to do with your property assessed value or property taxes. The first one, since the governor declared this disaster, allows the assessor to reduce values, the assessed values of the property that were damaged or destroyed by this fire. The property that are included would be homes or buildings, ADUs, agricultural property, citrus or avocado trees, business personal property, and boats. Those are all consideration for reduced values. We are currently receiving that information on the properties, and we'll start working on the reduction of those values as soon as we can. The second item I wanted to bring up is if you petition with the assessor's office, you can defer your property taxes that are due December 10th, which is the delinquent date for your first installment. This applies to anybody that has not paid their taxes already. If you have paid your taxes or have an impound account, you will have to wait till the assessor revalues your property in order to get that refund. But we're also working with the auditor, controller, and tax collector in reducing those values and deferring those taxes. And so when we reduce the value and adjust those tax bills, you'll be notified of the new values. And finally, I wanted to make a note that when you plan to rebuild, as long as the home is similar in size of what was destroyed, we will restore the value as was removed from the value. In other words, it's not assessed at a current market value as the date that the home or structure is completed. It's at the assessed value that you currently have now. So when we restore it, it would be like the property and the buildings were not destroyed. So those are three things. So just to reiterate, three things. We're reducing values based on that damage as long as it's over $10,000. You can defer your taxes by petitioning through the assessor's office, which will be available at the table out here tonight or at the LAC tomorrow and for the duration that will be there. And then when property values are restored, when you plan to rebuild and that structure is built, you will receive the assessed value that you have now. We also, our information is on our website, assessor.countyofventura.org, or you can call my office too to get any additional information if you want something on that. Thank you very much.
Next to speak, Ventura County Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services Director Patrick Maynard.
Good evening. I just wanted to take a few minutes tonight to build on some of the concepts that were mentioned by our Public Works Director from both the county and also the City of Camarillo. When things like fires happen, our team pulls together a multidisciplinary team right after that incident of experts to go out and assess these hazards. So in the case of the fire, we want to go out and take a good look at these hillsides and best determine what our plan of action is for conveying evacuation information when necessary. So what I can tell you is in the next couple of weeks, we are ready to go out in the community with hydrologists, geologists, several other folks from our Public Works Department, law enforcement personnel, fire department personnel, City of Camarillo personnel. We're all going out together into your community to take a look at the conditions and figure out what the best plan of attack is for this winter. We, of course, all have concern for that, so we will be working on a plan. Once we conduct an assessment and have an opportunity to look at modeling and some other tools that we have at our disposal, we'll come up with that plan. That plan will outline things like rainfall rates and other hazards we need to watch for in the upcoming forecast. Once we have those tools in place and a good understanding of the hazard, we'll then come back to you. And we'll have another town hall meeting just like this one tonight, and we'll educate you on what to look for. We'll also be adding information. It was mentioned, vcemergency.com. So we'll be adding information on that page specific to each one of your neighborhoods on what to look for. Once we have those plans in place and we've educated the residents on what to look for, we enter a state of monitoring. And that monitoring goes on for several years. Every year that passes by, conditions improve, but I will tell you tonight, This will not be over in 1 year. We'll need to continue to monitor that hillside for several years. If you recall the situation out in Camarillo Springs in 2015, that was a multi-year process. But the good news is conditions will return to normal, and we'll get through it, and we're going to stand by you through that process. I can tell you that the entire county team and the City of Camarillo team from day one has worked together to respond and will continue to do that. So again, we'll go into that monitoring phase. When appropriate, we will convey evacuation information to you all. We'll do that via our VC Alert emergency notification system. And when necessary, we will be knocking on doors to deliver evacuation messages. Once the event transpires, the rain makes its way through Ventura County, that same team will get back together and go out into the community and assess the hillsides once again and determine how we need to change our plans or if we need to change them at all. It's a multi-step process, but I can tell you we're ready to take that on. The team will be getting together to get this started here in the next couple weeks. I just want to leave you with this message tonight, though. There's a lot to monitor this next several years, and we are going to do our absolute best to get you information in advance of the incident. But I want to encourage you all to take steps to prepare. Do your part. Do your part to prepare. Do your part to reach out to your neighbors and make friends and make plans. And don't wait for us to tell you to leave. If there's rain in the forecast and you watch conditions become precarious, I don't want you to wait for us to tell you to leave. So please stay alert to those changing conditions. Work with your neighbors to take care of each other, and we'll get through this together. Have a good night.
Now I would like to invite from the State Insurance Commission's office, Deputy Commissioner Julia Juarez.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, I would like to first and foremost express our sympathies to you, understanding that this must be a very, very difficult time for you. And so I want to make absolutely sure that you know that your Department of Insurance is available for you. We have experts that are on the phone available to you at any time. We will be at the local assistance centers. However, if you have any specific questions about your insurance, there's a lot of paperwork that comes with insurance, and so we want to make absolutely sure that if there is any question that you may have, that you know that you can contact the department and that we have advocates there that will be on your side to be able to help you through all of this process. I'm going to give you that number first. We have our 800 number, and I know 800 number normally sounds, oh gosh, I'm going to get a machine. But no, we actually have our experts there that are working every day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we have a 2-minute wait time at the most if everybody is on the phone at the second, when you call. So if by chance you need to get a call back, they will call you back within 2 minutes. So know that we will be there available for you. Our phone number is 1-800-927-4357. Again, the number is 1-800-927-4357. In addition to that, we have our website that has a lot of information, tips for you, things that you can do now that will be able to help you. And our website is insurance.ca.gov. So it's very simple, insurance.ca.gov. If you don't want to speak with someone directly, we also have a chat feature. So that's helpful. In addition to that, I just want to make sure that I just remind you of a couple of things. One is that if you had a total loss, your insurance should be able to give you an advance payment of 4 months of additional living expenses. And that is available to you if you have had a total loss. If you have been told to evacuate, and you have expenses with that too, you will be able to, your insurance company will be able to provide for that as well. And they will be able to do that you will have 2 weeks. As the time goes, if you need more, then they will be able to work with you on that. You don't need to have company-specific inventory forms when you are doing your inventory of things that have been lost. That is no longer, you don't no longer need to have that. You can actually have your own inventory forms there. And then also, you will have a 60-day grace period for your policy premiums. Beyond that, I also want to let you know that once all the fires have been completely put out, the Department of Insurance is going to work with CAL FIRE and in the different departments that work through the fires to make sure that every consumer who was affected by this fire will have a moratorium of at least 1 year for your insurance, so that you will not have a non-renewal within that year. So insurance companies are not allowed to non-renew you within that year. So you can look at our website and find out where your zip code is there, and then you will see when that comes into play the day that the governor has called it an emergency. So when we have all of the data, then you will be able to go into our website and check and make sure you will be able to see what are the dates when you will have this protection. I have with me Sergeants Alvarado and Sawyer, who will also talk with you a little bit about what things that you should look out for.
Good evening. I'm Detective Sergeant Sawyer. We really wanted to come here tonight and just show everyone to be wary of public adjusters and unlicensed contractors. I have spoken with many of you already, and you are already receiving phone calls from these public adjusters. They are not supposed to be doing that. Public adjusters cannot solicit your business while the loss is underway between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. for 7 calendar days after the disaster. So because the evacuation is still implemented, they cannot be doing that. Just wanted to leave you with a few tips as well. Don't sign any contracts for repairs or other needs until you have spoken directly to your insurance company, representative or agent. Ask to see the California adjuster's license and note the license number and full name. Do not rely on a business card. And if you do receive a call, they are not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They charge a fee, and that fee is a percentage of your entire insurance settlement. So, Sergeant Alvarado.
Hi there. I also wanted to add that next week and the following week, we'll be out in the affected neighborhoods, actually trying to make contact, doing outreach, providing literature, also just making sure that there aren't those people that shouldn't be in those neighborhoods. Obviously, we don't want you to be impacted twice, first by the fire and then being scammed out of some sort of payout that you're getting from your insurance company. So definitely we'll be out there next week and the week thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
The officers do have a table outside where we have a lot of information with a lot of details and tips for you. One last thing that we want to make absolutely sure that you remember, please keep all of your receipts of anything that you are spending right now, just because all of that is going to come into play when you are working with your insurance company. Anytime that you speak with your insurance company, make sure you keep a log of who you spoke with, what was discussed, and all of that. And I know that it sounds like an extra job, another job, but I promise you that it'll make it easier for you as you continue to work through everything. And at the end, finally, just wanted to remind you, the Department of Insurance is available for you. We will be at the local assistance centers, and you can talk with someone directly about your specific policy and the things that you need to be, the questions that you need to be asking, and the things that you need to be aware of. Thank you very much.
We will now have closing comments from County of Ventura Chair of the Board, Supervisor Kelly Long.
Good evening, Kelly Long, County Supervisor, Chair of the Board. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, we just want to tell you how deeply sorry we are of your loss. We had a board meeting yesterday to really make sure we have everything we need to do to assess and assist you. I would really like to appreciate Dr. Johnson, our CEO, all of the staff here today. Cal Fire, amazing job, thank you. Our very own mutual aid from our cities, our county. If anyone knows, at the CP today, at 7 a.m., they are stating that the fire is only 60% out, just so you know. And we've had over 3,000 people on this fire right now. But it is so important to us that we are communicating with our community, that we are making sure you have the latest information, that we are here tonight only 7 days out. We have been talking, and I want to make sure you know our commitment. Since the fire was there, the moment it hit, it's like, okay, let's go. We need to recover because we want to make sure we support you. And I want to say thank you to all of the city council that are here tonight. You had your meeting tonight. Thank you. Our state electeds and our federal electives that have been there. If you've seen the press conferences every night, we have tried to provide you information. Tonight is a lot of information, and we understand. And we are really trying to get the permits waived, as you heard from the tax the assessor, things that we're doing, watershed we're doing, debris removal. We had the governor come here and visit our location to see what we can do financially and to get the support of the state, not only with firefighting, but also recovery. We're also, President Biden called me personally to state we have what we need for the FMAG, which is a federal thing we need to fight fires, and then also fix wings. And then we're looking into how we can get individual assistance. And so that's what you're going to see tomorrow on Thursday, starting right away, is a place you can go to talk to somebody about your questions and concerns. And we want to be here. Please give us your feedback. That's the only way we can make sure we could improve and address. But I do ask that we have compassion and empathy for each other and kindness. My family's in Camarillo. We have all of you that are friends and family that we all work with, and together we will be resilient and we will get through this. And it might not be as fast as we want it. I'm sure all of you would like to be in your homes tonight. But we're here for you, and we want you to just know from the cities and the counties that we work together, and that's what makes Ventura County very special. So thank you so much. I do know that we have tables in the back here for tonight so that you wouldn't walk away with just hearing words, but we're showing you actions as well. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
This meeting's presentation portion has concluded. We will now answer any questions posted by the audience, the white cards that you filled out.
First question,
Is there a time frame for the removal of debris?
Eventually there's going to be a time frame where we're going to require the debris to be removed. I can share with you our experiences with the Thomas Fire, where we had over 1,000 homes that were destroyed. The fire started in December, and we had boots on the ground. We completed the phase 1 inspections, and we broke ground finally in May, and our final debris removal site was completed in June. So that's the general time frame for an incident that size. I can't guarantee that it's going to be any longer or shorter, but that's generally what we're looking at for a consolidated debris removal process. For those of you who are considering a private company that want to go through our local program, that time frame could be much shorter because you're working independently with that contractor.
So there are a number of questions asking about water, when it will be safe to drink in several different areas, but is it something that can just be in general touched on, or?
I think the website vcrecovery.org has information on water suppliers, and each one of the water suppliers have a status report of the condition of their water, whether it's safe to drink, whether there's still a restriction. I'm not sure if there's time frames on getting back to safe water drinking, but I can say for Water District 19, which is the Somas area, all 3,000 customers have safe water to drink.
It's a fairly long question about air quality and things like that. When will the air quality improve? When can windows be safely opened? When can we be outside again? Oh, okay, sorry, we're going back to the water question.
I just wanted to let everybody know that Crestview water is safe to drink as of Monday and for all customers.
Thank you. So, air quality, also another question on there, does using sprinklers on areas with light to moderate ash, does it dredge up toxins or smoke odors? It seems to when they've watered lawns. And then, although the City of Camarillo water is, quote, safe, do we need to worry about below ground pipes being compromised by ground contamination from the fire?
Generally, water from sprinklers, even light rain can be beneficial at this stage, because what we really want to try and do is not have the dust out in the air. As far as contamination and percolation, yeah, it really depends on the site. If you have a site where there's a structure and you've got all that hazardous debris that's from that particular structure, that's where you might see some contamination. So when we do remove the debris and we do the cleanup and we do the testing, that's when we test to make sure that those constituents aren't there. If this is just fire or ash debris that's floating from outside the area, you might have that odor that's going to linger. I can't speak to air quality. I'm not with the Air Pollution Control District, but I can tell you that that odor may linger for a while, and it's likely not going to percolate and impact your pipes. But if you're at a site where you had a completely destroyed property, we are going to make sure that we clean up that debris and make sure that we test it to make sure that the constituents are not there.
How will the city help speed up the process of permitting? Will any fees be discounted or waived?
I can try to speak to that from the public works side, but as part of the city management staff, as was mentioned, Local Assistance Center is being set up on Adolfo. And then for residents that have property within the Camarillo city limits, which zigzag around through the whole area, the city is also specifically reaching out. We actually already have made contact with all those affected property owners about starting the process, what it's going to take to repair and rebuild. We actually, if anybody of those specific properties has further questions tonight, the city has an extensive amount of staff here outside at our table to provide that information to each one of those affected property owners that are City of Camarillo residents. And we are doing everything we can to expedite things, plan check turnarounds, and just making everything as quickly as possible we can for anybody affected within the City of Camarillo city limits.
Specific question about a certain area. We live in East Highland Drive. There's only one way out. There are 2 old roads that are closed. Can we reconsider opening them so that we have a second way out? East Highland Drive.
We will work with Public Works to identify those 2 old roads and evaluate on whether those roads are safe to add as additional exits out of East Highland.
Another person writes, I've heard that yesterday some measures were approved in Sacramento to help the victims of the mountain fire. Is this true? If so, what are those measures?
Once our governor issues an emergency order, it triggers other policies, including some of the insurance that you heard, so some of the insurance measures. So the emergency proclamation does trigger other elements, so we are in conversations. The insurance ones are already triggered through statutory authority, but other conversations such as some of the resources that we will need in this community are also in process.
Was the fire suppression effort hampered by the inability to pump enough water into the reservoirs in Las Posas Hills area?
What we can say is from the firefighting efforts, we anticipate that water can and will be an issue during any firefight. And so with that, if we do have a problem with a certain grid and we notice that we have low pressure, we move to the next grid and we'll create a water shuttle of fire engines. We'll bring in water tenders that can hold upwards of 2,000 gallons. So we anticipate that there will be water shortages during a major fire.
That wasn't the question.
My name's Steve Bennett. I'm the assembly member that represents this area. And for better or for worse, last Sunday at the fire station, Chief Gardner said, I'll be the one to find out about the water. There is no special role for the state or me personally to do that, but when the City of Ventura during the Thomas fire had some significant losses of water, and it did affect the firefight and their ability to fight. At this point in time, there is no, I'm not aware of any specific documented, hey, this clearly is in the, it's a little bit like combat when you're in the middle of one of these fires. Everything's going on. You have lots of reports, et cetera. But we will, I will just personally, because I was involved in that in the Thomas fire, I will personally be reaching out and trying to unravel what did and didn't happen with water. But that will take some time, and right now is not the time. we want to get all the people that are busy with everything else need to get that done, but we will reach out because the important thing we want to do is figure out what we need to change to make sure we have, if there were things that could have been done that weren't done, we want to make sure that they're done for the next fire. But I will be working with my colleague, Senator Lamone. I've already had my staff looking at legislation that we may introduce if everything checks out that would require that in wildfire areas specifically, the ones that are designated as high risk, that water companies have backup generators because always power's going to go out. If the power's going to go out and you don't have a backup generator, then a backup generator that works and will be reliable. We had some places before and other fires, not this one, they had backup generators, but they didn't work and all of that. But I'm going to be looking at legislation to do that because it's probably the thing that seems the most obvious. The power's going to go out, so you definitely should have a backup generator to try to make sure that you can keep up as much as possible. That does not diminish what Fire Chief Parker just said, which is if you have 500 homes all burning at once, there will be a decrease in water pressure, right? You turn on all those fire hydrants. The question isn't, will there be some decrease? The question is, was there an inappropriate decrease? Was there more than should have happened? And we will try to do the best we can to get that. But these are independent agencies, these water districts. They're independent agencies, and it's not like we can just walk in and tell them what to do. Hopefully they'll cooperate, and we'll try to find out both what happened and what do we need to do to make sure that we don't have inappropriate drops. So I'm going to ask here tonight, it is not easy to get all of that. I'm going to ask for the cooperation of all the elected officials at the city level, the two supervisors that are here, Supervisor Long and Gurrell that represent this area, Senator Lamone and myself, to try to help make sure we get that because if the elected officials can't get it, it's going to be difficult for anybody else to be able to get that information. Thank you for the question.
Can burned vegetation be removed right away before building demolishment?
The answer to that is yes, and it depends. I will tell you that there's new information that we just posted today. It is available in the back room on the tables where we speak to exempted materials. What we're trying to do right now is we work closely with our trash companies and debris companies that may come in and want to dispose of this either tree material or other waste. For that, we keep a list. We're looking at the fire assessment maps right now, and when someone requests a bin to remove, let's say, tree waste or other debris that's associated with the fire, not a complete burn down, but if it's minor debris, we can go ahead and release those bins to the community. So the answer is yes, you can start to remove those things. However, I would caution that you want to be safe. And if in doubt, go ahead and call that phone line that I provided earlier, and we can assist you with that information.
This is a question from a local business owner. I have a carpet cleaning business. I have the equipment to help remove ash and smoke smell out of a house. Where can I go to offer my services at a discount or even for free to those affected?
All right, we are not, I think you would have to contact your individual homeowners and they have to make their call whether they want to work with you or not. I do appreciate so much the offer, but that is to each individual owner as to whether they wanted to use your services or not. But thank you for that ask.
We sincerely hope that the information shared has been beneficial to you. We kindly invite your feedback as it plays a vital role in helping us meet your needs effectively, and you can find those resources out in the lobby. This concludes our meeting. Thank you for your time, and we wish you a pleasant evening. Good night.